that company is rubbish. Think about how can you make money from the customers and market and then help customers succeed. That's our philosophy.
He was rejected from Harvard 10 times, failed the university entrance exam twice, applied for 30 jobs and got turned down by all of them, including a position at KFC where 24 people applied and 23 were hired. Everyone except him. The man who couldn't even get a job serving fried chicken would go on to build one of the most valuable companies on the planet, transforming how 1.4 billion people shop and pioneering a business model that even Amazon couldn't replicate. His name is Jack Ma, and his company, Alibaba, grew from 18 people in a cramped apartment to a $500 billion behemoth that has redefined commerce for the digital age. But here's what fascinates me. Jack Ma has no technical background. He wasn't a coding genius like Bill Gates or a product visionary like Steve Jobs. He was an English teacher who didn't write a single line of code or design any breakthrough product. So what was the secret? What fundamental principle did this unlikely entrepreneur discover that allowed him to build an empire that would eventually rival Amazon, eBay, and PayPal combined, starting from a country where, at the time, most people didn't even have credit cards or reliable internet access? Today, I'm going to reveal the core business philosophy that Jack Ma discovered, one so powerful yet counterintuitive that it explains not just Alibaba's meteoric rise, but also offers a blueprint that any business can apply, regardless of industry or size. This isn't just another tech success story. It's about a radical approach to business thinking that challenges everything most entrepreneurs believe about competition, growth, and profitability. If you're ready to discover the business secret that built a $500 billion empire, hit that subscribe button and comment below with your biggest question about Alibaba's incredible journey. Now, let's decode the principle behind Jack Ma's remarkable success. The conventional wisdom in business is clear. Study your competitors, identify their weaknesses, build a better product, and capture their market share. It's the strategy taught in business schools and implemented by companies worldwide. But Jack Ma took a radically different approach, summarized in a principle he's repeated throughout his career. Customer first, employees second, shareholders third. Now, you're probably thinking, that sounds like the kind of generic mission statement hanging in company break rooms everywhere. But what made Ma's approach revolutionary wasn't the slogan. It was how thoroughly and consistently he implemented this philosophy, even when it meant making decisions that seemed financially reckless or strategically counterintuitive. At Alibaba, we have a secret code, Ma explained in a 2018 interview that stunned Western investors. We don't focus on the competition at all. We don't focus on making money. We focus exclusively on solving problems for our customers. And if we do that well, money follows naturally. To understand just how radical this approach was, we need to travel back to the early days of Alibaba in 1999. China's internet was in its infancy. Only 8.9 million Chinese people were online, less than 1% of the population. Credit card penetration was minimal, online payment systems barely existed, and trust in digital transactions was virtually non-existent. Ma gathered 18 friends in his apartment and outlined a vision for connecting small Chinese businesses to global markets through the internet. The conventional approach would have been to build a platform, charge fees immediately, and use that revenue to fund growth. Exactly what competitors were doing. Instead, Ma made a decision that his investors thought was insane. Alibaba would be completely free for the first 3 years. No listing fees. No transaction fees. Nothing. When we started, I told my team that we need to be profitable after 3 years and sustainable after 5 years, Ma recalled. But we didn't need to make money in year 1. We needed to make our customers money first. This wasn't just a promotional gimmick. It was a profound insight into the unique challenges of the Chinese market. Ma understood that small Chinese businesses didn't just need a platform, they needed education about how e-commerce worked, time to build trust in online transactions, and tangible evidence that this new model could benefit them before they would fully commit. By removing all financial barriers and focusing exclusively on merchant success, Alibaba created something far more valuable than early revenue. A network of loyal businesses that became not just customers but evangelists. In a business culture built fundamentally on trust and relationships, this approach gave Alibaba an advantage that no technology or business model could match. The real test of Ma's philosophy came in 2003 when eBay, then the global leader in e-commerce, entered China by acquiring local platform EachNet for $180 million. Wall Street analysts predicted Alibaba's quick demise. eBay had superior technology, global scale, and significant financial resources. They followed the conventional competitive playbook, focusing on monetization, technological efficiency, and leveraging their international experience. Ma's response reveals the essence of his business philosophy. Instead of trying to copy eBay's strengths or directly attack their weaknesses, he completely reframed the competition. eBay is a shark in the ocean, Ma said at the time. We are a crocodile in the Yangtze River. If we fight in the ocean, we lose. But if we fight in the river, we win. While this sounds like a clever metaphor, it represented a profound strategic insight. The river was the unique Chinese business environment with its distinct customer needs and cultural context. Ma wasn't competing on eBay's terms. He was creating an entirely different value proposition built around deep understanding of local customers. When eBay charged listing fees immediately, Ma launched Taobao, Alibaba's consumer marketplace, with a bold promise: free listings forever. When eBay focused on efficiency and automation, Taobao built extensive messaging systems that allowed the extensive bargaining and relationship-building Chinese shoppers expected. In America, e-commerce is about transactions. In China, e-commerce is about communication, entertainment, and social connection, Ma explained. Chinese consumers want to know who they're buying from, negotiate prices, and build relationships with sellers. These insights didn't come from competitive analysis or market research. They came from Ma's obsession with understanding the real problems Chinese merchants and consumers faced, problems that Western business models weren't designed to solve. The results were stunning. Within 2 years, Alibaba's market share in China went from 10% to 59%, while eBay's collapsed from 79% to 36%. By 2006, eBay essentially conceded the Chinese market. The world's dominant e-commerce player had been defeated not by a superior technology or business model, but by a deeper understanding of what customers truly valued. But Ma's customer-first philosophy went far beyond just defeating eBay. It became the foundation for Alibaba's entire ecosystem development. The clearest example was Alipay, now part of the Ant Group. When Alibaba was growing, Chinese consumers faced a critical problem. They didn't trust online transactions. Credit card adoption was low, and buyers feared sending money to sellers they couldn't see. Rather than accepting this limitation, Ma created Alipay, an escrow service that held the buyer's payment until they confirmed receipt of goods. This solved the trust problem in a way perfectly tailored to Chinese market conditions. We didn't create Alipay to make money, Ma explained in a 2017 interview. We created it to solve our customers' problem with trust. If that problem remained unsolved, there would be no e-commerce in China, and therefore no Alibaba. Today, Alipay processes over 80 billion transactions annually and has evolved into a comprehensive digital wallet and financial services platform. What began as a solution to a customer problem became a business potentially more valuable than Alibaba itself. This pattern repeated across Alibaba's development. When small businesses couldn't get financing from traditional banks, Alibaba leveraged its transaction data to create lending solutions. When logistics limited e-commerce growth in rural areas, Alibaba invested billions in building a smart logistics network that could reach remote villages. "We don't lack money," Ma told his team when facing these challenges. "We lack people with dreams who can die for those dreams." This perspective, prioritizing solving customer problems over immediate profit extraction, allowed Alibaba to build an integrated ecosystem that competitors found extraordinarily difficult to replicate. The power of Ma's approach wasn't just its focus on customers, but its long-term perspective. When Alibaba went public in 2014 in what was then the largest IPO in history, Ma wrote a letter to investors that made his priorities unmistakably clear. "As a public company, we will face pressure from the market, but we will not make short-term decisions that sacrifice our long-term vision. Our commitment to serving customers, employees, and shareholders in that order will not change." This wasn't just rhetoric. Ma has consistently made decisions that frustrated short-term investors but strengthened Alibaba's customer relationships. When counterfeit goods threatened trust in the platform, Alibaba invested hundreds of millions in anti-counterfeiting technology and enforcement, despite the short-term hit to merchant growth and transaction volume. "It's easy to love your customers when things are going well," Ma noted. "The real test is whether you still put them first when doing so costs you money." For entrepreneurs and business leaders today, Jack Ma's approach offers 4 actionable principles that can be applied in any market. First, prioritize customer problems over competitor movements. When making strategic decisions, ask, "What customer problem does this solve?" before asking, "How does this position us against competitors?" Companies that obsess over competition often miss the unmet customer needs that represent the biggest growth opportunities. Look at how Alibaba approached rural e-commerce in China. While competitors focused on affluent urban customers, the most profitable segment, Alibaba invested billions in rural Taobao, creating service centers and logistics networks that brought e-commerce to village populations. This didn't just open new markets. It created genuine social impact by connecting rural communities to economic opportunities previously available only in cities. When you serve the smallest and poorest village, you reach everyone in between, Ma explained. This inclusive approach not only expanded Alibaba's market, but created deep loyalty among customers who had been ignored by other platforms. Second, be willing to delay monetization to build customer relationships. The strongest business models often emerge from deep customer engagement rather than premature revenue extraction. By focusing first on creating value for customers, you build the trust and loyalty that eventually translates into sustainable profitability. Consider how differently Alibaba and Amazon approach third-party sellers. Amazon began as a first-party retailer and only gradually opened its platform to third-party merchants, whom it often competes with directly. Alibaba, by contrast, never competed with its merchants and focused exclusively on helping them succeed. Today is difficult. Tomorrow will be more difficult. But the day after tomorrow will be beautiful, Ma frequently tells entrepreneurs. This patience, the willingness to endure short-term challenges for long-term relationship building, distinguishes truly transformative businesses from those merely seeking quick profits. Third, adapt your model to cultural context rather than forcing standardized approaches. Ma's understanding of Chinese business culture, with its emphasis on relationship building, trust development, and social commerce, allowed him to create solutions that global competitors missed despite their technological advantages. This cultural sensitivity became evident in product features that might seem inefficient to Western observers but perfectly matched Chinese preferences, extensive messaging systems for buyer-seller communication, live streaming integration for product demonstrations, and social sharing features that transformed shopping into a community experience. When you start a business, you need to know the environment where you operate. As a tree, you need to know the soil, Ma advises. This cultural sensitivity becomes increasingly important as businesses expand across diverse markets. Fourth, build ecosystems, not just products. Ma's vision extended beyond creating individual offerings to developing an integrated system where each element strengthened the others. Customers who used Alibaba's marketplace were naturally drawn to its payment, finance, and logistics solutions, creating powerful network effects. We want to build an ecosystem that allows small businesses to grow and prosper, Ma explained. This ecosystem thinking, seeing how various business elements can reinforce each other around customer needs, creates defensibility that isolated products or services can't match. The most remarkable aspect of Jack Ma's story isn't just Alibaba's financial success, but how consistently he applied these principles even as the company grew from a startup to a global powerhouse. At each stage, when conventional wisdom would suggest shifting focus to competitors or financial optimization, Ma doubled down on customer centricity. I don't have time to care about the competitors. I don't have time to care about how much money we make. I care about how much value we create, Ma emphasized. If we create value for our customers, they will pay us back in time. This long-term perspective allowed Alibaba to weather numerous challenges that might have derailed a more conventionally managed company: the dot-com crash, the 2008 financial crisis, and intense competitive pressures from both domestic and international rivals. While competitors focused on quarterly results and conventional metrics, Ma kept Alibaba oriented toward a bigger vision. We're not building a company for today or tomorrow. We're building a company that we hope can last 102 years. This time frame, spanning 3 centuries from Alibaba's founding in 1999, reflects a business philosophy that transcends short-term thinking. For those building businesses today, the most valuable insight from Jack Ma's journey isn't about e-commerce strategy, technology implementation, or even market positioning. It's about a fundamental attitude toward business purpose, seeing profit as the result of customer value creation rather than its primary goal. If you're doing the right thing and your intentions are good, you'll succeed, Ma concluded in a 2019 speech shortly before stepping down as Alibaba's chairman. If you're not trying to help others, no matter how powerful or rich you are, you'll eventually fail. This perspective, putting customers genuinely at the center of business strategy rather than just in marketing slogans, remains the true secret behind Alibaba's extraordinary rise from a tiny apartment in Hangzhou to a $500 billion global empire. And it's a principle that entrepreneurs and business leaders everywhere can apply, regardless of their industry, resources, or market position. As you think about your own business challenges, consider Jack Ma's approach: solve real customer problems, take a long-term perspective, and trust that if you create genuine value, financial success will follow. It's a philosophy that built one of the world's most valuable companies from the most unlikely of beginnings, and it might just transform your business too.